this job isn't what I want anyways, and just please be with me and guide me and let me know. Just be with me, Lord, through this. And so I knew that he was with me. Um, and so the flight attendant says, basically, he says, he says it so casual, like nothing, no problem, He just says, well, if we start to go down and if anything happens, make sure that the children get off first. And I don't care if my body is laying down. If something happens to me, I want you to trample over it, get these people off the plane. And he's telling me, exactly who, because there was a mother who was holding a baby on her lap, and he just pointed over at her, and he's like, make sure they come off first. Because there wasn't very many of us on there, maybe 25 at the most. But there were a lot of kids. So that freaked me out a little bit. So, and then he looks at me, and everybody's kind of, they're looking at us like, what are they doing? They're sensing that something isn't right, and nobody's telling them anything. So they're getting kind of antsy and moving around, kind of like the movies. It was really creepy. But anyways, so he says, I need you to do me this favor. And I said, what? I'll do it. What? And he said, I want you to turn around and tell everyone to put their heads in between their legs and that everything is going to be okay. He said, because you're a passenger and they'll believe you before they believe me. And I looked at him and I said, are you telling me that you don't know if everything's going to be all right? Are you telling me to lie to these people? And he goes, no, everything's going to be fine. He's like, but they need to hear it from you. And I'm like, oh, at this time, I'm on the edge of crying. So I have to hold all that emotion and everything in, and anxiety of flying anyway is upon me, so I have to hide that too. Like, is this guy seriously expecting me to do this? So I do. I turn around and I'm like, okay, everybody, you need to put your head in between your knees, scrouch down. We're getting ready to have an emergency landing. And then, everyone's, what? And it gets, like commotion. It just, people start, they're just uncomfortable, and they're like, what's going on? What is going on? And everybody's just kind of looking around, and they're starting to, like, you're not telling us what's going on. And I'm like, really, guys, everything's going to be okay. And a woman looks at me, and she's the one holding the child, and I look at her, and I'm like, everything's going to be okay. Because I got the sense right before her and I, like, had this eye contact, I had a sense of the Lord telling me, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Well, I had to trust that. I mean, when you're up in the sky and you have no control, you're not flying the plane, you have no control, and all this is happening, you have to trust whatever little voice or something that's inside of you that says you're going to be okay. You hang on to that for dear life. And thank God that I heard that voice, because I did. I hung on to it. And so we sit down, we buckle up, we start going down, because now by this time the pilot has called again, and he says, okay, tell them to buckle up because we're going for an emergency landing. And everybody's really uncomfortable, but you see everyone putting their heads down, and not me. I didn't. I was looking straight ahead. And then I looked out the window, and you could see, how planes, like, gradually, like, go down like that? Well, no, we were, like, going, like, a vertical. We're going down, and right here are trees. I mean, trees that could scrape the bottom were barely missing, like, going over them. And, I mean, crazy. And I looked out the window, and I remember seeing fire trucks and ambulances and all these police cars and stuff on this airport ramp. They're like the runway. They're expecting by the ramps and runways and everything, like they were expecting a crash. So anyways, we get down and we're on the runway, and we go, and sparks are flying up by my window because I'm like by the tip of the nose of the plane, and I can see like sparks, and it's really rough. That was the most rough landing I've ever experienced in my life, and jerking around and everything else, And right as soon as we stop, it's just like it's like a big, huge jerk, and we stop, and then a pilot kicks the door open, and all this smoke comes out, and then the masks fall, the oxygen mask. Anyways, so he kicks the door open, all this smoke is coming out, and he's out of that plane before you could blink your eye. The guy left the plane. He left us there. Anyways, and apparently the cockpit was on fire, and the other pilot that was in there was passed out from the smoke inhalation. So then I helped get everybody, off the plane with the flight attendant. We got all the people off. We had to leave our things there, like suitcases or whatever, of course. So anyways, we get off there, and I knew right then that that's it. This is not worth it. My family is more important than this job, to where I have to fly out this many times, to be surrounded by these types of negative, dark people that have no good influence on me whatsoever. They're drinking and asking me to go to these big parties, and I've met celebrities and everything else there that you can imagine, and it was it's pretty sad now that I look back at it, but I thank God that I went through that experience, because it really made me change the way that I use my talents that He gave me. So now I plan to use my talents all for Him. Anyways, so there you have it, guys. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about just one experience that I had, but I thank God that He was with me, because, that whole experience just opened my eyes and made me realize how life is fragile and it can be taken away at any moment, any time. And if you don't have that voice inside of you, if you don't have God, that person's not going to have anything to grip onto. So maybe you should take a moment and think about, really, if you have God, if you have the Lord in your heart, and ask Him. It's just, all you have to say is, Jesus, please come into my heart. I accept you as my Lord and Savior. I'm sorry that I've sinned, and show me the right way, Lord. I want to learn who you are. Show me, God, and He'll show you, and He will save you a lot in your life. You will be surprised. It's like having a lifesaver there all the time. Jesus is our lifesaver. He is. Anyways, just wanted to share that with you, and I have a lot more other things that's happened to me in my life, and I'll make more videos about that. So I'll talk to you guys later. Alright? Have a good one. Bye.